Hi, and welcome to the Elder Watch mini-series, Protect Your Heart and Pocketbook, Romance Scams in 2024. Elder Watch Colorado is a 20-plus year partnership between AARP and the Colorado Attorney General's Office. Elder Watch provides educational presentations for Coloradans 50 plus to help them recognize, refuse, and report financial fraud and exploitation. Additionally, we have a volunteer staffed fraud victim support helpline if you or someone you know may be the victim of fraud. My name is Jessica Zawadski, and I am the program specialist for Elder Watch Colorado. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so what better time to talk about romance scams? Romance scams are consistently in the top 10 scams reported to us on the helpline by older Coloradans. According to the IC3, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, in 2022, over 67,000 Americans reported a romance scam. Total victim losses nationally in 2022 stood at over $735 million, and victim losses for those over 60 stood at over $400 million. Unfortunately, we know that this crime is significantly underreported, so both victim totals and losses are actually higher in reality. This type of scam is not only here to stay, but unfortunately, it's evolving. As a result, I am here to help you learn all about romance scams so you can keep your heart and pocketbook safe in 2024. This video is the first in a 5-part series on romance scams. Today, we'll talk about some of the basics of a romance scam, and later on, we'll cover the fake identities that romance scammers use, manipulation tactics, how scammers target their victims, and we will end with some tips to help you debunk a romance scam. First things first, I want to make sure we're on the same page about what I mean when I say romance scam. So when I say romance scam, I'm talking about a scam in which an individual uses emotional manipulation to build what a victim believes is a romantic relationship. Once this relationship is solidified, the scammer will then ask for a financial contribution in the form of direct funds, implied loan, even cryptocurrency. And these scams can go on for days, weeks, months, and unfortunately, sometimes even years. A romance scam often, but not always, also involves a scammer masquerading under a false identity. The blueprint that scammers use largely in romance scams is called pig butchering. And pig butchering scams are involved in many other scams as well. They can take many forms, but generally there's 3 steps in all pig butchering scams. First, identify the victim. Second, fatten them up. Third, butcher them. In some scams, the fattening involves emotional manipulation, causing the victim to fall in love with the scammer and build this deep, deep connection. In other cases, the fattening is financial. For example, let's say a scammer convinces a victim to invest $5,000 in a fake cryptocurrency scam. The scammer may then show the victim a fake web page that makes it look like the victim's investment has quadrupled. The scammer may then ask the victim if they'd like to invest a greater sum, or often, since the victim sees this huge return on investment, they want to invest a larger fund themselves. Let's say this time our victim invests $30,000. When the victim is ready to withdraw their funds and tries to ask the scammer about how to do this, often the scammer disappears and can't be contacted. The fattening in that situation is this fabricated return on investment, and the butchering is the 35K that the scammer now has in their pocket. The butchering part of a pig butchering scam is when the scammer asks for the money. And this ask can come in different forms. Sometimes they'll ask you for direct funds, maybe a deposit into a bank, maybe through a peer-to-peer payment app like PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. Sometimes they'll ask for an investment. Maybe they say they've come into some gold. Maybe they're asking for help purchasing equipment in a business that they're hoping to bring you into, so they say. Sometimes they'll ask for a loan that, of course, they promise they'll pay back. And sometimes they'll ask for cryptocurrency. And with cryptocurrency, we've seen an increase of these scams on the helpline, both in terms of asking people to deposit money into cryptocurrency ATMs, as well as fictitious cryptocurrency platforms that were never making you any money in the first place. We receive all kinds of calls here on the helpline, and one that we got recently was from a concerned daughter. She discovered that her mother was involved in a romance scam with an individual that she met online on a dating site. He claimed to work in the handling of medical equipment shipping and told her that he needed her to send funds for something that they were trying to get through customs. Per the daughter, the mother sent money overseas in the form of Bitcoin and gift cards, and of course, never wound up being in a relationship with this individual, though she is unfortunately still holding out hope. Unfortunately, when it comes to romance as well as other types of scams, the probability of getting your money back is fairly slim. But that doesn't mean that if you've been the victim of fraud, that you should accept this fate without fighting back. The first thing you should do is if you met this individual on either social media or an online dating site, is that you should block that individual and then report them to the respective site. If fraud has occurred, you should report it to two places. First, you should make a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, or the IC3, and you can do that at ic3.gov. Secondly, you should report fraud to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and you can report fraud there at reportfraud.ftc.gov. If you're not sure what to do and you want to talk through maybe what your options are, give us a call here on the helpline. Our phone number is 800 222 4444. Select option 2. Thanks for joining me for the first video in the Elder Watch mini-series, Protect Your Heart and Pocketbook, Romance Scams in 2024. Today we covered the basics of a romance scam. Next time, we'll get into some of the fake identity tactics that romance scammers use to convince us that they're someone else. In the future, we will cover the manipulation tactics that scammers use, as well as how scammers target their victims and how to debunk a romance scam. If you or someone you know is the victim of fraud, don't hesitate to call us here at the Elder Watch helpline. Our phone number again is 800 222 4444. Select option 2. My name is Jessica Zawadski. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.